Hello. In this video, I will show you how to add definition into the nose of your clay positive. So I had just finished up this step in my prior video. My clay felt a little stiff, so I added just a little bit of moisture so that I had a little bit more time to work on sculpting and defining the features. So you could see right there that I was taking a pencil and using that to open up the nostrils of my clay. Because my clay is at a leather soft stage, it holds this shape really well, meaning the pencil is actually compressing the clay. It's not moving it outward. If my clay were too plastic, I would actually widen out my nostril really far, but the clay is holding the shape of the outer edge of the nostril. If the clay was also too soft, it would probably stick to my tool. If the clay was too stiff, so if it was closer to the leather hard state, I might actually crack the nostril when I go to open it up. Here I'm looking to make sure that they both match and are uniform, and the one on the left was still a little too small. So either I could continue to use the pencil to open it up, or whatever tool you prefer. If your clay is a little stiff though, you might need to take a needle tool or something else to kind of scoop it out and hollow it out, as opposed to pushing and compressing the clay. So I'm looking at the shape of the nose, and my tip looks like it got a little bit deformed when it came out of the mold. And sometimes the clay is there, it's just been shifted, so you can push it or move it around. But if it seems like you're missing clay, you can go ahead and do a little bit of scoring and slipping and adding just little amounts at a time to sculpt the shape back in. So now I'm working with adding a little bit of definition around my nostrils. So I'll use a pencil to draw in the shapes, a tip of a wooden tool, and then my favorite thing to do is to go in with a stiff bristled brush and really use that to help define the features. You'll notice there's not really a lot of water on my brush. I'm really using that more for sculpting than for smoothing. So I'm using it to kind of push and compress into the clay. Now I have some smile lines, and I just wanted to show you that if you take a needle tool and draw them, they're going to look sharp and cartoony. Maybe the back of a paintbrush or something a little softer would work slightly better. But even if you do use something sharp, you can always go in with your brush and soften it. You can go in with your serrated edge tool and kind of edge away at that sharpness. You can even compress the clay to create definition between one part of your face and another, as opposed to drawing the line. So I'll just continue to work on this a little bit longer to get the desired effects. It's still not totally done. I'm not going to go too far into it until the rest of the face is sculpted. As I'm working, I think maybe the nose is a little crooked, and because the clay is leather soft, I still have room and time to adjust it. I have sped up the video, and you'll notice that more details are carved, but what I want to remind you of is that you should also pick up your clay positive often and look at it from different angles. When I did this, I noticed that one of my nostrils was slightly off, and so I later went in and adjusted that. And finally, if you are done working on your clay for the day, make sure that you wrap it up really good in your plastic. Again, if you want to come back to work on it, it needs to be sealed really good under the plastic. And don't forget about proper and safe cleanup. We do not ever want to sweep the surface of our work area, so I'm carefully moving my tools to the side. I've been working on newspaper, and so I could either take that and channel that clay scraps into my trash can, or because it's newspaper, I'm just going to fold it up and I'm going to put it in my compost. Your final step would be to take a damp sponge and wipe off your table.